first 10 NBA. We're gonna break it down 5 and 5. It'll be Harden, and then a couple of the trades, the Anthony Davis potential landing spots, and KP for Zingod. And then
I'm
straight into Super Bowl.
afraid to talk about Anthony Davis.
Porzingis trade,
Why?
it's already a done deal, right?
Porzingis trade is supposedly a done deal.
Porzingis, no, there's no supposedly, it's done.
It's a
Like,
done
there
The
deal.
are-
Anthony Davis thing, man, for me, it's a long conversation because it involves Rich Paul and LeBron's agent and how they're just trying to like force people to do their bidding, and I think it's getting out of hand.
Well, this is what I was saying, like, for quite a while now, like, the NBA is run by the players, and
Right.
like, that's why I appreciate the NFL a little more, because, like, as much as these guys bitch about, like, oh, well, we need guaranteed, we need this, it's like, look, like, the only reason that y'all are getting paid what you are getting paid today is because of fucking Jerry Maguire. Like, if it wasn't for agents, you know, demanding this money, you know, there would just be normal $10 million salaries or whatever the fuck it is, not these $500 million, like 10 years for fucking Bryce Harper.
Right, but in this case, it's bizarre to me. I know we're going to back off and then get into it in a minute. It's bizarre to me because if New Orleans balks at this shit, they have him under team control for another 2 years and the rest of this season. So there's no pressure on them to trade him to the Lakers. Let him
Yeah,
wait till.
It's not 2 years. It's this year and next year.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. He's under contract through the end of 2021, and then he's a free agent. So 21-22 season is the first time
Is
that
this
Anthony
year and
Davis.
next year?
I believe it's this year.
No, look it
Next
up.
year is
Look it up.
20. Yeah, this is 1920. Or 1920.
No, we're not. We're in the middle of the 18-19 and an
Oh, yeah,
NBA
18,
season.
19.
Then 19-20, then 20-21, then AD's a free agent. So let him go to LA when LeBron's entering his age 37 season, if he wants to try to strong arm New Orleans. There's no pressure on them to trade him. I would love for them to push back, but they've already removed him from the intro video that they play before games. They're now supposedly shelving him indefinitely.
No,
They don't have to give in to
So-
that shit. So
they
you
don't
don't-
want him to get hurt
I thought there was
because-
a reason that he was able to request a trade. And I didn't realize it was through 2021.
No,
but
he got
it
fined
is.
for requesting that trade.
Right, but I saw something about that on Twitter which said, "Hey, New Orleans, I want you to trade me." That AD, New Orleans, I want you to trade me. NBA, you're fined $50,000 for talking to the Lakers about, a trade.
Yeah.
And then Anthony Davis is like, "Fine," and the NBA is like, "Okay, cool. Now continue to talk to the Lakers."
Yeah.
It's like, what did that fine even do?
Nothing.
No, yeah.
It did absolutely nothing. So let's not get too far into it.
Especially in terms of his $127 million contract. $50,000. It's a pocket change.
Absolutely.
And I did hear through the
He's under team control
grapevine,
for over 2 years, so why would they?
So because this year, this summer, he's eligible to.
Well, let's
sign
just talk
his-
about it on.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get started.
All right, welcome to back to the weekly game. I'm your host Dave E. We got Turk and Drew over here.
Welcome.
We
Welcome.
got a busy week, y'all. Man, it's such a big week. Super Bowl, so there's a lot to talk about there. But before we get to that, I think we want to touch up on the NBA. There's a whole lot of stuff going down right now. So why don't we just jump right into it, fellas? Being in Houston, I know this is kind of out there. Being in Houston, I just want to touch on James Harden real quick and what he did in the month of December.
Historic.
Oh, excuse me, January.
Historic.
Absolutely historic. The only other player to even touch what he's done is Will Chamberlain. So anytime you can put yourself in that type of company, I feel like it needs to be respected, called out, honored. And I know the media has done a great job of doing that mostly, but what's your thought?
This is perfect. We talked about this before we started recording, and I wanted to save my position. I don't even know what he did, so I need you to tell me. And I think that I'm in the majority of people outside of Houston are very disinterested in whatever it is that James Harden's doing down here in Houston. So what is it that he did
He
in the month
averaged
of
over
January
43 points a game
for the entire
for
calendar
the entire
month?
month.
Averaged 43 points a game for the calendar month.
He's also on a historic 23-game streak of scoring 30 points or more.
What was his shooting percentage in January? I'm sure it was not bad. but
No,
I'm curious.
he is a high efficiency.
Chris Paul
shooter.
is out, right?
Chris Paul's out, yeah. He's a very high volume shooter. So so look,
Right.
he's a high volume shooter, but he's also an elite scorer. So it doesn't matter how many shots he's chunking up there. He's efficient in what he's doing.
What was the Rockets' record in the month of January?
We can find out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look that up.
I'm sorry, we
boy.
can move on. Yeah, we need a stat boy.
Yeah, we
Still,
need a
we're
stat boy.
auditioning
We're auditioning
for
for
a
a
stat boy.
I think we've called that out in a couple episodes now. So don't even send a resume, just show up.
Somebody from Ohio actually told me. I almost texted you after the first episode.
To be stat
He
boy.
listened to it. He's like, I almost texted
Hey.
you, and I told you I was going to be your stat boy.
Look, don't feel shy, please. You're more than welcome if you want to look stuff up for us. We need it.
So, real quick, we got a historic month here. He averaged 43.6 points per game
Crazy.
and carried Houston to an 8-6 record with multiple injuries on the team. So you're missing
Absolutely.
Capella,
Capella
you're missing
and
CP3. Ennis was out for a while.
I'm going to look up something else. Keep going. What his
And
shooting
look,
percentage is probably not there,
and
right?
the reality is that's probably why he was able to do what he's done. And now that everybody's starting to slowly come back, I expect that to tamper down just a little bit. But to be perfectly honest, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he averages 30, 35 points a game.
Yeah,
You
no,
know
I'm
what I
gonna
mean?
find his shooting percentage for the month, but I mean,
I'm
my
curious.
beef
I don't think that's
is
a huge.
my beef is that people look for reasons to
hate.
pick, yeah, to pick at
To hate.
like
And look,
why this is not of relevance, right?
I'm not
Or,
one
like,
of those
why,
everybody hates Houston people.
No,
but
you
I
can
do
tell just
feel like
with the All-Star game voting.
by and large people don't pull for Harden.
Well, I can tell you right now
They
that
had Derrick Rose ahead of James Harden.
That's
so
ridiculous.
I mean, the public is not a fan of James Harden.
My-
but-
So
My next
so Derrick
angle-
Rose wasn't last, is what you're telling me.
yeah.
my next angle as a non-believer in James Harden was to look at who they played in the calendar month of January, and it's a mixed bag. It's not a great or a bad schedule. You got Warriors, Trailblazers, Nuggets, Bucks. You also have Cavs and Magic and Nets, and you got the Lakers in there, but you got
Hey,
the
say
76ers.
what you want about
So
the
they
Nets.
had a-
The
they had
Nets
a-
are 2 or 3 games behind Toronto right
They
now.
had a
so-
middle of the road or above schedule.
Next,
So I think I'm
Nets
out
are down
of-
by 1 currently to the Spurs.
I think I'm out of
Middle
things
of the
to
third quarter.
criticize about it. It's not. It's
We've
impressive.
actually-
8-6
We've actually
record.
had this discussion on the Nets.
So the Nets
The
took
Nets
us to
are not
overtime and beat us at the buzzer.
The Nets are not terrible.
No, the Nets are very good, and even down in man, they're
They're
very
a piece away. They got a lot of great role players.
all right. So because for a variety of reasons, the landscape of the NBA is such that Harden can do something like this and be
Absolutely.
under the radar. So this is good that we talked about this because there may be people not in the Houston area that are watching this. I bet there's one of you. Hi, whoever you are, and that is probably something you didn't even know about because I live in Houston and I didn't know about it. So let's.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people in Houston know what he's doing, but I think beyond that, I feel like I think what you said in one of our first episodes, as far as the national people think he's just kind of a weirdo. I mean, I think that's got some validity, right?
Yeah, but
he's
my
a strange cat. You look at his Taco Bell commercials; they just came on the other day. Dude, he's a weird dude.
that Foot Locker commercial where he sings. I mean, it's
Oh,
just
man,
weird.
That's even weirder.
But check it out.
He came out balling defense after
My
that.
opinion,
After that commercial.
my opinion about him being weird and aloof and strange was not about fans' perception. It was about players in the NBA maybe being hesitant to want to play with him. And that's a different conversation. Let's talk about the two big news stories.
Absolutely.
Not named James Harden.
Not Rockets related. Trades, man. Trades.
They're gonna get
Trades
more
and
and more
potential
leading
trades.
up to the deadline.
So the other white meat today, which is Dallas, they went ahead and they pulled off a blockbuster. I mean, just the fact that the Knicks were willing to come off of a unicorn, just to me, just says buckets about their organization, the disarray that they're in, and how absolutely awful the Knicks are.
It also says something about the current state of the NBA. But let's talk about why you think that it was such a horribly awful move for the Knicks.
Kristaps Porzingis' game is a Euro big man game. So he can play big, he can play down low, but he can also step out. So he's a stretch center. He's a stretch power forward. But he's a stretch with ball skills and legitimate defense. And he can defend bigs and smalls. Kristaps is a unicorn.
So he's a Kevin Durant clone.
Absolutely. He's phenomenal, man. He's long and he's got ball skills. He can put the ball on the floor.
He's got balls.
Ball
So-
skills.
And we love people with ball skills.
So,
Ball.
what is your take on Porzingis? Is it different from Aaron's?
No, I do think that he's definitely a force to be reckoned with in the NBA. It's unfortunate that he did miss this season with a knee injury last
Absolutely.
year. But he's rehabbing. He will be back next season, and it's going to be fun to watch him and Luka play.
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous.
And meanwhile, here's the Knicks' position. When we woke up this morning, the Knicks had Porzingis. The Knicks now are heading into a crucial summer in NBA free agency with 2 max slots and 2 first-round draft picks. I say that the Knicks are going to sleep in a considerably better position as a team that's poised to sign Kevin Durant, plus that they weren't in when they woke up. So to me, based on the landscape of the NBA, it's very difficult. I mean, me better than most people that are probably listening to this as a Cavs fan understand, unless you've already got the makeup of a super team or the workings towards that, they're trying to manufacture that in New York where it didn't exist this morning when we all woke up. And now, with 1 good draft and 2 key signings this season, they could be well on their way. And I'll take Durant. If they just traded Porzingis and then they signed Durant in this offseason, then they traded Porzingis for Kevin Durant, plus whoever they're about to sign. That's how I look at it. And to me, in the landscape of the NBA in 2019, I think it was the right move for the Knicks.
Okay, so first of all, that's a very big if when you talk about the Knicks getting Kevin Durant, number one. Okay, there is no guarantee where he's going to go, and I don't believe the Knicks are on anybody's shopping list for where they want to go in free agency. And you look at the last several seasons, probably the last decade of NBA free agency, when there have been people, the only person who's actually wanted to go there was Melo.
So let's talk about the Knicks starting 5 if they sign Durant and Kyrie.
I don't want to talk about if they sign.
The
two
if
players
is
that are
why
on
they
those
did
teams.
this.
So
Just picture for a
You
minute.
from Cleveland and me from Houston, I understand this, but what you need to understand is that just because you have cap money doesn't mean people are going to come play there. First of all, why would you want to go play New York where you know the team has been mismanaged for the better part of 2 decades, where they can't keep players, right? Where they make these ridiculous, horribly trades all the time. Their organization has been disarray for so long that they haven't been able to attract anybody except who somebody I think we can all agree on is the head case.
When you have a 12-man roster, you can rebuild in 1 month in the NBA, unlike you can do in any other sport. Really quick, let me finish. What you're missing about the current landscape of the NBA is that it's considerably more likely that a kid is a fan of a player than it is that a kid is a fan of a team. All right?
Thank you,
So-
fantasy sports.
Yeah. It helps.
And social media and all of the access we have to everything all the time. Thank you, technology, which has bred fantasy sports and everything else. But I'm telling you right now,
Spreadsheet.
I'm telling you right now, the New York market as an advertising market, meaning shoe deals and deals with local businesses and all that, that's money, that's cha-ching.
So
And don't be surprised if the Knicks starting lineup next year is Dennis Smith Jr., Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and they have 2 first-round draft picks in the upcoming NBA draft. Their own
But
and the one
also-
they just acquired from Dallas. That's
but
an
also don't
instant
be
rebuild.
surprised. But also
And
Done.
they traded for DeAndre Jordan today.
That's an
too, so-
instant rebuild.
But DeAndre
That's
Jordan,
how
long is
DeAndre
he under
Jordan
contract
Weston Matthews come off the books at the end of this year.
Okay.
Come
So
off the
look-
books, as in
They're free. They're free agents.
Free
at the end of
agents.
this
free.
year. Yeah. So they're actually buyout candidates.
Not
is what
restricted.
they are. So
Not
to
restricted,
get
okay, that's
to get
important.
bought out this year and go sign with
I'm
a team
surprised the
that's
other's
not-
contract would be up that fast. He just.
So
Yeah, was it
look.
a 2-year deal?
So
I'm
look.
not
So
positive that's true. Look that up real quick.
So don't be surprised
We
if
didn't
the
set a
Knicks
timer either.
don't
I
get
did.
anybody, don't have anybody but their draft picks, and nobody wants to go play there. So
New York
because,
City.
Because when you have the choice to go to New York or go to LA, right? Both have equally marketability and all that other stuff that you talking about that New York has. They both have good cap space, but you know what one has that the other one doesn't? Magic Johnson, LeBron James. I mean, they got stuff out there.
Wait,
And
wait,
here's the
wait,
deal.
wait,
Hold on,
wait,
and
wait,
here's the
wait.
deal.
Don't
Hold
even.
on.
Yeah,
Hold on,
hot
hold on.
button.
Here's the deal.
Hot
To
button.
go to New York, right, means I'm gonna pay fucked up taxes on my millions of dollars.
Magic
Yeah, so
Johnson
he-
and LeBron James are two negatives.
How can
Attracting
you say, how can
people
you
to
say
LA,
someone
not
who went
positives.
to 8 straight finals, and when he's
I don't know,
playing
Aaron.
on the court this year, his team was 4th in the West. When he's out, they're 9th in the West. Dude, it only takes him to get you into the playoffs every year, or you can go to New York, pay those fucked up taxes, and
I'm gonna
not
let
be
you
in the
talk
sunshine, and not have a chance to go to the finals every year.
AB, you know whose opinion doesn't matter
Who's?
in regards to why a guy would want to go to LA? Yours and mine and Drew's. You know whose opinion does matter? Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and the countless other people that have pretended to like LeBron and refused to play with him when the opportunity presented itself. There's something to be said for the
Kawhi
fact that
didn't
these guys
refuse.
don't want to play with LeBron James.
Kawhi didn't refuse. Kawhi was traded.
There's something to be said. That's fine.
Yeah, there's something to be said about Popovich being mad and trading you to Canada.
You think that multiple people have not exhibited to all of us now in the past few years that they don't want to play with LeBron James? You're telling me that that hasn't been the trend?
I'm telling you that he built a super team in Miami.
True.
Let us wrap that up. We're gonna come back to that next week because there's something coming up this week that's
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's something
significant-
brewing in this conversation though.
significant.
Because you're talking from a
Relevant.
Houston point of view. Houston ain't shit compared to New York City. And LA and every other city on the planet is secondary to fucking New York City, the Big Apple, the bright lights, the biggest city on the planet, dude. So
Tell
just
me-
because their
tell me the
basketball
splash-
team
Tell me
hasn't.
the splash that they've made that has mattered. The only significant move they've made in the last 20 years, right, is drafting Kristaps Porzingis.
And I'm telling you that all of that changes this offseason.
You're right. Because
Write it down, take a picture. I don't give a fuck. We're gonna have a very different conversation about the New York Knicks next
All
year.
right, let's
Definitely
do it.
revisit this conversation.
Absolutely, because you know what? If you're right, he's buying Sizzler. That's all I'm
That's
saying.
all I'm saying, you know.
Well, if I'm
If you're
wrong about
right-
the Knicks, I'm right about the Wizards, so it doesn't matter.
It's
And we
one of
wanted to
those
talk
two
about
because-
Anthony Davis, but this is perfect because he hasn't moved,
He hasn't
so
moved.
we can visit this next week and spend a
Absolutely.
long time on what I think is a destructive force in the NBA that needs to be dealt with, and it's time that some owner takes a stand against it.
The
You know,
trade
And that's
deadline.
that's a teaser.
I agree.
We're not
with you.
gonna-
The
More
More
trade
on that
deadline
next week.
is a week from today, so
More
we're
on
not
that
that's a
next
teaser.
week.
And
All right, so let's segue.
let's
So,
segue.
biggest game of the year. I'm excited. I don't know why I'm excited.
The
I think
NHL
that's
All-Star
supposed to
game,
be-
baby.
Yeah. That was Saturday. If y'all missed it, it was
The miracle of
entertainment at most.
Slide ice. What?
That was this past Saturday, actually. It was.
I know. I thought we were getting a recap. I thought that's what we were talking about here.
We won't.
Are
We
we not?
will save that till.
Just wasted 23
We'll
seconds.
save that till the end of the summer. How about
Bullshit.
that?
All right, go ahead.
All right, so let's get to the big game. Let's get to the Super Bowl, y'all. Trademark NFL.
TM.
So, all right. So let's talk about it from a couple perspectives, right? So first of all, let's talk about who you think is going, who you want to win, number one, and then who do you think is going to win and why? Go.
So who I want to win
Who
is
do you want to
probably. I mean, for fuck's sake, they're both garbage teams that I can't stand with anything. But
Well, they're not. Their adjectives garbage. But go ahead.
no. I mean, go ask. Half the people in this country what they think about the Patriots, and they're probably sick of
It's
them.
not
Just like
garbage.
Everyone,
so
you know.
it's so
Fair
wrong.
enough.
So
Go on.
Yeah, no, they're both elite products on the field, and you know we bow down. No, I mean I'm not gonna sit here and suck them dry. You know, like I'm sick of seeing them. It's over with. I get it. You've seen it once, you've seen it 1,000 times. Let's move on. All right, let's get someone else. Like, where's Nancy Kerrigan when you need her? Right? Can she go back there and just fucking kick this guy in the ACL?
Tanya Harding.
Tanya Harding, whichever one. I mean,
Nancy Kerrigan is about to play in the Super Bowl on both sides. You were looking to. What is Tanya Harding, Alex?
what is?
All right, so who do you want to win the Super
All right,
Bowl?
what's the over/under?
I want who I want to win is probably the Patriots, but who
You're
I
a
prefer
fucking idiot. Go
who
on,
I
I'm sorry.
prefer to win and who I hope wins is the Rams.
That you did. Okay, let's try this again. Take two. Who do you want to win the Super Bowl?
The Rams,
Who do you believe is going to win the
the
Super Bowl?
Patriots.
Why? What
Just-
gives them the edge?
the edge is the fact that this is not their first Super Bowl, right? I mean, this is let's just
Absolutely.
look straight. What's the most obvious thing in the room, right?
They've been there before.
They've been there many times, not just a couple of them, a lot of them. You know, this is a
Very
team that
many.
has been together for quite a while. You got Tommy TB12 and his favorite ice cream.
Avocado ice cream. No fat, no sweet.
So I mean, what's not to like? You know.
And so I was on a podcast last night, and one of the guys that was on with us was saying at work, a lady had avocado ice cream, and it was good.
The only endearing quality about Tom Brady, by the way, is that he appears in a scene in Ted 2 where they want to jerk him off while he's sleeping for his sperm so that they can impregnate Ted's wife with super semen. Beyond that, Tom Brady can go get fucked. But why? So, other than the experience, do you have any other reasons? That was a tangent. Oh, Ted 2 is
That was great.
Ted
No,
2
no,
is
Ted
dope,
2 was
dude.
great. No,
Ted 2
was
is
great.
funny as
That
fuck.
was great.
It's at least as funny as Ted 1.
You're right. That
Which,
almost didn't.
by the
make
way,
sense
it's
to
not
me.
called Ted 1, it's just called
It's
Ted.
called Ted.
But
I
Yeah, no, he
I
almost
can't-
anything else besides
nah.
the experience?
Like I'm telling you, the props are what I'm interested in. We'll get to that in here in just a
Okay.
bit.
All right.
The game itself is just dog shit in my opinion. It's prefabricated. It's fucking WWE.
Strong take.
So
The NFL is WWE. High five on
Strong
that,
take.
big
All
time.
right.
Just verbal high five.
All right.
I'm gonna turn this thing on its head real quick and be the host
Yeah.
and ask you these questions because I feel like my take. I'm
Go
sorry to
last?
try to
You
take
wanna go
control.
last?
I feel like
No,
my
yeah,
take
that's
is
a
gonna.
friend.
I feel like my take
That's
is
a
gonna.
friend.
I'm gonna
That
go
is a
last.
true friend.
I'm gonna
True
be the
friend,
Derrick
you're gonna go
Rose.
last.
You're gonna be the
of the
Derrick
Super
Rose of
Bowl
this
takes.
conversation. All right.
And I'm gonna.
So
the D Rose of the take.
look,
That's gross
I
and awesome.
I want the Patriots to win. I genuinely want the Patriots to win. And it's not because I'm a Tom Brady fan,
Yes,
and
you
it's
are.
not because I'm a Belichick fan. I just look, man.
Yes, it is.
think what they do, I think they are a model, right? And because of that, and because they've won some and lost some, I would like to. I mean, I think the case is closed. I think the conversation's shut. I think Tom Brady's actually the best quarterback who's ever played in the game, right? And I think it's just the nail in the coffin, and I don't think it's going to be a conversation for a very long time. Just put it to bed.
And who is going to win?
Oh, the Patriots, right? And it's for more than just because they have Tom Brady. They have a running game, and their offensive line is fucking phenomenal, man. And I just don't feel like I don't feel like I don't feel like the Rams are going to be able to go out and punch them in the mouth and get those big plays down the field that really open up their offense. I think it's going to be a grind them out kind of game. And that game only favors Bill Belichick, always.
Grinders.
Yeah, he's superior. Right?
Grinders
You're going to play a perfect
are
game
good
the entire
sandwiches.
game,
Yeah.
and you're going to go through a stretch where you mess up 3 or 4 times, and then you're going to look up and they're up 21 points. Because that's what the Patriots do to you. It'll be a run right there at the end of the half, and then they're going to get the ball back, and then you're up 14 points, and what are you doing? Panicking.
I agree.
Nobody panic.
I agree.
Joe panic.
Trademark Drew Cohen. Everybody relax.
Everybody relax.
Just relax.
Everybody relax.
All right, so check it out.
Just relax.
My take involves a little bit of game theory that I think could spark a bit of additional conversation, which is why I requested to go last. I desperately want the LA Rams to win the Super Bowl. I am tired of it. They're not garbage. The Patriots, I would never refer to what they do and what they are as garbage.
Garbage.
But I'm fucking tired of it. And what I
Trash.
dislike most in life, this is beyond sports, this transcends sports, is somebody that conducts themselves and presents themselves in one way when they're actually the other thing. If you're a shit person and you are just well marketed and finely tuned to make and want everyone to believe that you're a good person and you're actually a shit person, I think you're shit. I think you're worse than the person that's a shit and is true to that by a wide margin. And Tom Brady is a shit cunt, and he tries to conduct himself like a guy with character and class and sportsmanship. Let me finish. And he's not. It was just reaffirmed to me again the other day, and this isn't even my take yet about the game theory. Go Google the Instagram video that Tom Brady made leaving the locker room on the way to the bus with Rob Gronkowski, and he is the most arrogant, cocky little fucking prick that you could imagine. And meanwhile, his whole 40 minutes earlier on the sideline, he's like, everyone doubted us, and I believed in us, and that's why we're so good, because we try harder than everybody else. He's a cocky fucking prick, and he wants you to believe that he's a hardworking, upstanding, good guy who kisses his son on the mouth.
Right.
Well, one of those things I just said is true, and it's weird. But the other thing that I said that's not true is that he's not a good guy. He's a fucking prick. He throws people under the bus, like the guy that he threw under the bus during Deflategate, when it was his fault. Nobody does shit to those footballs without Tom Brady's consent.
Right.
And then he Lance Armstrong, his equipment manager, to deflect the blame from himself because he's a cocksucker, dude. And that's who he really is. That's who Tom Brady really is. He's a shit person, and he wants the world to believe that he's a good guy, and I fucking see right through it, and I'm done with him, dude. I'm serious, man.
Go.
Let me fucking tell you how I really feel about this.
I feel you.
And that's not even my take on this situation.
But that is a strong take on Tom Brady. I mean, and so I feel like it's a little personal in your attack. I understand.
I got nothing personal against that guy.
No, look, I understand where you could think someone's fake and not.
No, I said I know that he is. I didn't say I think.
I'll thank you.
So I can see how you know someone's fake and. But man, I don't really see it that way.
So
I don't really see the whole Deflategate thing the way you see it. I don't feel like they did anything wrong. I don't feel like him throwing anybody under the bus was throwing anyone under the bus, because I don't feel like they should have had to fucking defend themselves.
They definitely did something wrong, and they're habitual cheaters. And that's just the reality. You can ignore it or you can face it.
Look.
But check it out. All right? I'm in a position that a lot of people find themselves in. So the question is actually phrased incorrectly. Who do I want to win the Super Bowl is not the correct question. The majority of people that are interested in this game at all, the question for them is, who do you want to not win this football game?
Right.
And regardless of who was on the NFC side, that's who people want to win, because it's about who they don't want to win the game. I'm telling you right now.
A lot of people in New Orleans don't want the Rams to win because they don't think they should be there.
But if you pulled,
could probably chalk that up.
if you found a way to pull off the impossible,
Absolutely.
if you found a way to pull off the impossible, which was to pull everybody, you're gonna find that the majority of people
Just don't
want a
the
team
Saints
to
win.
not win the game for a variety of reasons.
Look, that's
I
fair.
want the Rams to win now, unless like there's something super that we want to add to my rant about Tom Brady. I think it's much more interesting why I think and convinced the Patriots are going to win.
All right. Why do you think?
And
they're
here's
going
why.
to win? Other than superior quarterback play and superior.
It's total game theory, and I talked about it twice today. Once in a group text, and once when I called into a radio station in Cleveland. So I've kind of fine-tuned this. So I'm
Shout
ready.
out Cleveland,
I'm ready.
Iowa.
Cleveland Sports
92.3
Radio.
The Fan.
The
in
Fan.
Cleveland. I called into
Sounds
Chico this
terrible.
evening, and I dropped this take on him, and I'm going to drop it on you guys right now.
Let's hear
All right? The elite offenses in the NFL, I mean, we're talking about such a thin margin that separates the good teams from the great teams from the exceptional teams in the NFL.
Fair.
The thing that every exceptional, almost unbeatable offense in the NFL has in common is a pressure release valve. You can call it a ripcord, you can call it an out, like how many outs you have in a hand of poker. Every elite team in the NFL does not scheme better than everybody else. In those critical moments in a game when the play breaks down, and it's a pun because the pressure mounts on the quarterback in the pocket,
Right.
but the overall sense,
Pressure of the game.
the pressure of the
Yeah.
game on a macro level intensifies, and the elite offenses have a pressure release valve that's a key cog in their offense. And the coolest thing, in my opinion, about this take, not to pat myself on the back too hard, is that they come in all different forms. The Ravens exhibited a very specific, unique type of pressure release valve near the end of the season, which was Lamar Jackson's running ability. When all else fails, Lamar Jackson can get yards with his feet. The pressure release valve that's existed for years for the Patriots has been Rob Gronkowski, a very different physical specimen than Lamar Jackson, but a very similar specimen in that he's a release valve. When everything else goes wrong, Tom Brady has Gronkowski, a physical anomaly on the football field. Lamar Jackson is that. Kareem Hunt was that in Kansas City, which is a very unique.
But kind of so is Kelsey, and kind of so is Tyreek Hill.
Now,
They're-
check
they
it
have
out.
three physical
Check that. To
specimens.
me, they had very specifically two, and this is why if Kareem Hunt had never been ousted
It'd be
for that video, the
yeah.
Kansas City would be favored in this Super Bowl right now by more than a touchdown, in my humble opinion. And for a variety of reasons, people would say, but I'm telling you that they had two on either side of the field. They had a pressure release valve in a physical freak in Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt. Now, why the Patriots are so unique to everybody else in the league? Actually, let me back up really quick. A big part of my take is why the Rams lost the Super Bowl about 7 weeks ago when Cooper Kupp went down. Because he was the pressure release valve for Jared Goff, and Jared Goff has fallen flat on his face more or less statistically from the moment that Cooper Kupp went down for the remainder of the season.
That was the downfall of our fantasy
No,
season.
touche.
So
Well,
check
we
it out.
actually lost
But
Kareem Hunt and Cooper Kupp.
in terms of game theory
Brutal.
and in terms of scheming, because this pressure release valve this theory that I have, this pressure release valve, it doesn't exist in the passing game and it doesn't exist in the running game. It lives in between those things, and regardless of whether schematically you're going to run the ball first or throw the ball first, your out is always going to be the same, right? Now, what makes the Patriots unique and why I'm convinced today more than I ever have been before that Josh McDaniels is the greatest offensive mind in the NFL right now. Everybody's talking about the new, young, shiny toy that is Sean McVay, and he's a genius. But Josh McDaniels, unlike any other coach in the NFL, the pressure release valve that I'm referring to, and I hate to keep using that term, is almost always a physical anomaly that can be exploited in a moment of need. Josh McDaniels has exhibited time and time again the ability to turn a non-physical specimen into that release valve. Sometimes it's Danny Amendola. He's not a physical specimen. It's been Danny Amendola. It's been Danny Woodhead. It's been Dion Lewis. It's been James White. It's been who's the wide receiver right now that I'm forgetting?
Edelman.
He has turned all of these non-physical specimens into that pressure release valve for Tom Brady, and schematically, they're unstoppable because of Josh McDaniels. I've heard arguments all week about, is it Brady? Is it Belichick? I believe that it's Josh McDaniels that team could not do without. And because of Josh McDaniels and the pressure release valve theory that I have, the Patriots, the Rams, they don't stand a chance in this football game. So I know that was another rant, and I'm going to sit back and I want to hear y'all.
I would like to kind of support your Josh McDaniels and the pressure release, right? You look at what he did with Tebow on that last play. That was a pressure release play
Back in Denver.
that took them past Pittsburgh to the
which is
I mean, and he did it with Tim fucking
Tebow is just another
Yeah.
physical
Physical
anomaly on the football
Yeah.
field. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all it takes. The right offensive minds know how to scheme that anomaly into a position
Into
when
success.
all else fails. A quarterback can go to that thing. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, Kansas City would.
So
I think Kansas City would crush anybody in this Super Bowl if they had been able to keep Kareem Hunt on their roster somehow. I don't think it would have.
yeah, you
even been
keep
a question.
Kareem Hunt on there, it's a completely different
Don't think it would
team.
even been a
Almost,
question.
almost unstoppable.
Well, and then you
really.
look at what Mahomes did in the Pro Bowl. I mean, he took legitimate weapons all around him, and he made the NFC look stupid.
How many physical anomalies, if you want to, use my turn of phrase to
Yeah.
analyze a football team? Kansas City, it wasn't just Hunt and Tyreek Hill
Kelsey
and Kelsey and Mahomes.
Yeah.
So they had 4 physical anomalies on the field at any given moment. I mean, we're talking like
See, I think you're really discrediting LA. Though,
We're
if
gonna
we're
find
talking
out.
about physical anomalies, You're saying like Cooper Kupp was their Achilles heel.
Isn't Sammy Watkins
I find that
also-
really
No,
important.
no,
I
no,
mean,
you're
like,
missing what I'm
Robert
saying.
Woods came in, he's been a beast this year. A beast. He even stepped up even more once Cooper Kupp went down.
But is Robert Woods the guy?
Yeah, man, but
that is
ever since Cooper Kupp came in the league, he's been their possession receiver. I mean, we wrote.
Yeah, I
him
know,
2
but I
years in
still don't
fantasy
think
for
like
a reason.
Look,
we're not
certain-
even talking about why they've been successful since Cooper Kupp went down. Or really, it's not even. He hasn't even been there that long, right?
No,
The addition of
he's
C.J. Anderson
here.
has turned that team.
Into a pounding ground.
The
They are a
addition-
powerhouse. They
The
are
addition of
unstoppable
Cooper
right
Kupp
now.
to the LA offense at the beginning of the season skyrocketed that offensive scheme into the stratosphere, and everybody wants to talk about Sean McVay this and Jared Goff.
But you're
taking
acting
steps
as though they
forward.
don't have any passing options outside.
No,
of
you're
Cooper
not.
Kupp.
Then you didn't hear everything I just
Well,
said.
No, I
the
heard
pro-
What I'm
the
saying
problem
is-
Robert Woods is going to be their only option. So first of all,
What about Cooks?
First, why do you think?
What about
Why
Gurley?
do you think Bill Belichick discarded that dude?
What about
he
Gurley?
knows exactly how he's shutting that dude down. That
Because
dude is
those-
a non-factor.
Those guys are
That dude is gonna be
centerpieces
a
of
non-factor.
What
listen.
Belichick does is he's notorious for this. It's not even a secret. He takes away your best
which
weapon,
is going
right?
to be Todd Gurley in the run game.
Who do you?
The run game
So-
will be shut down.
That's true.
Brandon Cooks will be a non-factor because he played there. He knows why he got rid of him, and that's what he's going to exploit. That's not even going to be a scheme. That's a given.
Don't
right?
get hung up on my use of physical in the anomaly category or as part of my description. Don't let that fool you. Cooper Kupp and Rob Gronkowski and Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt, these guys, to me, almost all of them are physically gifted, and they also have an innate ability to do the right thing on their own, to be in the right place. Lamar Jackson to make the right decision in running the football. Look, the guys you're talking about, Todd Gurley, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, those are
C.J. Anderson.
pieces of an actual scheme of an offense. And the guys I'm talking about are guys that are both operating within the scheme and there to bail the quarterback out when nothing goes right on any given play. So
But
we're
I'm
talking about two
saying,
different
like-
things. Who's going to bail Jared Goff out on Sunday when the play breaks down because Bill Belichick has outthought Sean McVay? Who's going to bail Jared Goff out? Who's going to physically be in the right place at the right time that Jared Goff can do something like barely passable and turn that into 12 yards that are desperately needed at that
They've
moment?
done it all year. They have a better record than the Patriots. What do you?
That they're a different offense since Cooper Kupp went down.
They are a different
They are.
offense, but they're not
less
bad.
explosive.
Because
No, but they are less explosive.
because on
But part of that
I
too is
disagree with that as
because
well.
Gurley
For
was
one
out
week, for
Gurley
one
was
week
out
they
for a
were.
while, too.
For maybe 2 weeks even. The week that he went down, they I believe they won that game
For
even
the
though he
whole
went down.
playoffs, they've been.
So, but those 2 weeks after that, they weren't as explosive as they were before.
Let me
Cooper went down.
clarify something to you about what I'm talking about. Very specifically what I'm talking about, and then I'll be done with it and we can move on. What I'm talking about matters not at all on about 18 of 20 plays. What I'm talking about very specifically matters on every 9th or 10th play, and it extends drives so that they can perform the function of the offense as it's been drawn up. What I'm talking about is that desperate need at a given moment in a football game that allows them to continue to scheme against the defense. I'm not talking about an overall game plan. I'm talking about the thing that occurs at the absolute desperate moment that allows the team to hold on to the football and continue to march down the field. You've got to have that. That's why offenses are elite versus offenses that are good, in
So,
my
yeah.
humble opinion.
They've got, would you say they've got an elite offense and defense in New England?
Schematically, they have for about a decade plus, yes.
No, not schematically.
But that's what,
Talent-wise.
it all matters. It all matters. It's the
But
the
what
finished
the
product on the
question I'm
field.
asking is the
No,
talent.
They have an
It's
elite
not-
offense.
It's not a matter of talent.
They have an elite
It's-
offense.
They
That's,
play team defense.
so
Offense.
I don't think that they have an elite offense at all. It's far from it. I think that they have an elite quarterback.
Every offense functions differently though.
Uh,
Every offense can be, you can be elite.
They've
at
had,
they
they've
have a
had
run- they have a run.
previously, in previous years, they've had elite offenses there, right? This is not one of their best years. They have
It's one of their best years running the ball in 10 years, 15 years.
running the ball. Yeah, Sonny Michel stepped up big in the second half of the season. James White did well, before Michel.
And they
came
both,
back.
When
they
it's-
both catch the ball out of the backfield too.
When it's
Dynamic
mattered,
out of the backfield.
They won a bunch of games this year in non-flashy fashion, and the offense has looked very elite in the postseason when it's mattered.
So
So maybe they're turning it on and off
I get it.
as a
LA
need,
has.
rather
They've
than
never been there. They have to prove themselves. I get it, but I still think that there's not enough credit going to, McVay, the Rams, as in,
No, I
offense and
think
defense. I do
everybody's
think that
giving
they
them all
have
the credit in
elite
the world.
players. Look at what they did mid-season on the defense. They hit up Jacksonville, right? They stole their best, one of their best defensive players, right? Because I do think that
go back. Let's go.
Who was it? Who did they say?
Fowler, Dante Fowler.
I believe that's who it was.
Yeah, they
So-
traded for Fowler.
A little homework, and we can bring it back to this next week, maybe.
Okay.
I contend that the Rams' offense was anything but elite after Cooper Kupp went down.
Okay.
That's my contention.
And I
So
contend
I'm gonna
that
look at
they
the-
are
I'm gonna look at every
elite.
game after Kupp went down. They are an offense that has been very good with elite players, but the offense overall, production-wise, has
What
not
would
been elite.
constitute as elite? Like 30 points a
Production-wise.
game, or right?
We're
so
gonna look at-
productions
we're
or
gonna, like-
scoring or,
like
or
top-
yards per game.
Top third to quarter in the league in offensive
Because you also have to
scoring
look
and
at
yards.
who they were playing after he went down. Okay, and I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to get all of our bases covered here in regards to.
All right. Well, how about
People were
this?
very
So
concerned
it didn't matter,
about-
It didn't matter who Kansas City played. They averaged about 30-something points.
Yeah, I mean,
a
LA,
game.
the
They
Rams
were-
played
they
the
were
Chiefs,
elite.
right? Didn't the Rams play the
You
Chiefs
need,
this
you need
year?
to take a better look at the Rams.
Wasn't that the highest scoring game of the season?
You need to take
in
a
the
better
NFL?
look at the Rams offense. Jared Goff is
We
downright.
keep
I'm
talking
about-
about
I'm
the
about
Chiefs.
to.
The Chiefs are out of it. I prefer us
I
not
meant
to
to
bring
say
the
the
Chiefs
Rams.
up at all.
Jared Goff has had a very pitiful
Yeah, give
stretch
us
of football
the,
games.
what's the final score of that Rams Chiefs game this year?
When was that? Was Cup still in the lineup?
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, it's very.
It's one of the
very
highest scoring games of the year.
But I'm talking about the Rams offense since Cup went down, not when they played the Chiefs, because I do believe it was after that.
So Rams Chiefs, the final, 54-51 Rams.
Oh, we all know, and everybody, that was the most exciting football game in the last 10
I
years.
was just saying that a second ago.
I-
Okay,
I never
this is
discounted
an
that.
elite team. This is an elite offense. Okay. We want to say, okay, well, Kansas City was, they could go up against anyone. Guess what? They went up against the Rams and lost.
Kareem
and
Hunt was
that's
strong
after
in the
having.
season. Hold on.
Let's see. Oh, they were tied at half. That's right. Rams.
What week did
And Cooper
Kupp
Kupp
go
was
out?
not in that game.
When did he go out?
Cooper Kupp was out of that game, and they put up 54
Hold on.
points on the Chiefs.
Hold on.
I'm here. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, I know, he was not in that game.
No, he was
So
not.
was it the week before that he went down?
So, it's fine. We can
Yeah,
discount
Cooper
it.
Kupp got hurt in the game the week before that.
Look at this. Cooks, 8 receptions, 107 yards. Robert Woods, 4 receptions, 72 yards, a touchdown. Somebody that we haven't talked about at all that stepped in for Cooper Kupp. Josh Reynolds, 6 receptions, 80 yards, and a touchdown.
That's damning to my theory because every game after that, the Rams were pitiful on offense.
I gotta be honest.
Every game after that.
They were an elite offense. They were
Okay, so
the Rams?
all season.
Check it
The
out.
Rams?
Yeah.
No, I know they were.
Check it out.
They scored over 30 points.
They
a
were
game.
elite offense
They
all
lost.
season.
They lost 2 games, and those 2 games they didn't score well. That's really.
And who were those
they
2
had-
games
They
against?
had a 19-point game. One of them against the Ravens. And the
One was
Ravens-
against the Denver Broncos, I
Ravens
think.
took them dirty. No, they
Here,
didn't
hold
score
on,
20
hold on,
points.
hold on.
Those are both.
That was early in the season. Look, they scored.
Well, I'm
on
talking about
average
the 2
30
losses.
points.
Those are elite. Some of the best defenses in the league.
Okay, so
they
the-
lost to.
The week after
The
the Rams,
Patriots are
this
not
is
one
the
of the best
stretch I was
defenses in the league.
referring to. The week after that Chiefs game against the Lions, Jared Goff was 17 for 33.
Yeah, that was a terrible game.
The week after that, against the
What did
Bears,
that
he
do?
was
How many
20
points they
for
put up?
44. I'm talking about just the offense fell pretty flat after
Yeah,
Cup, but my
but-
theory
but-
doesn't hold
but-
up.
Yeah,
with
but
the-
then, but
what
then
did
look at when
Gurley
they
do
add
in those
Anderson.
games?
Hold on, time out.
But
So
look
then
at
look
what
at when they add Anderson.
Yeah,
They
what-
didn't have Anderson when they played Detroit. They didn't have Anderson after the game
The
after
Rams
Detroit.
offense isn't just what Jared Goff does. Todd Gurley is the fucking league leading.
The best running back in
Yeah,
the league.
man.
Wait, Jared Goff,
More
the
touchdowns.
third week after the Chiefs game, Jared Goff was 35 for 53 with no touchdowns and a pick, and Gurley only had 48 yards. And they lost that game
Two
to the Eagles.
to the Eagles. So that was
Okay.
the game that they lost. Okay.
Wait, they lost to the Bears the week before that?
Another elite defense. So
And-
the Patriots are not an elite defense. If you put them up against the Bears, they lost. That's an elite defense.
The Ravens.
The Ravens, elite defense.
Look, again.
I'm not saying the Eagles are an elite defense, but we saw they won the Super Bowl with that defense.
The
last
week
year,
after
okay,
that,
so.
They beat the Cardinals, but Goff was very human yet
When did
again.
CJ? When
Goff
did CJ
turned very
Anderson?
human.
I don't care about Cup.
I
When
know
did
you
they
don't.
add Anderson? That's what we need to know. They added Anderson like
he was-
2 to 3 weeks before, the end
Right,
of the
weeks
season.
after that Kansas City game, which is the game
Yeah, yeah,
after Cup went down.
because there was
Correct.
suspicion something was wrong with Gurley. Like, oh, is Gurley hurt?
Right.
You know, because he only played like a few snaps. One of those, the game before they added C.J. Anderson, I believe. So that's speculation.
I still believe that the offense is considerably less dangerous since Cup went down. We will find out.
No, I mean I would
This Sunday.
agree with that. They lost a weapon that was their possession receiver.
But
And he
for
was
some
just-
reason I thought in that Chiefs game that was
Who
insane.
has? Let me ask you
They
this:
had no Cup.
Who
so.
has a better defense, the New Orleans Saints or the New England Patriots?
That's a good question.
Again, you got to be talking about overall production, not just talent and not just scheme, but everything put in the blender and mixed up. I think that the Patriots have a better defense.
Yeah, no, I
think
think
overall-
that New Orleans. It depends on when we're looking, right? So the second half of the year, New Orleans definitely. They were the best defense left in the playoffs once Chicago and Baltimore got bounced. The
I
best
just think
defense,
Bill Belichick
the
is
best
the best
defense
defense.
the best defense left in the playoffs was the New Orleans Saints, and they're gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
they
not
should
saying.
No,
I'm
and they
saying
should not be.
I
by
would
the way.
say I would say the Rams are
LA's
the
liability is, in my opinion, is their
stacked
defense.
defense.
They have great
Talent.
defensive
I mean,
players.
they've got some key.
They've
Yeah,
got
so
great
the other
defensive
thing,
players,
right,
but they
you-
give up points.
You look at what the Chiefs did to what the Patriots did to the Chiefs defensively, and what they did to those outside rushers. Right? They were using the running backs to chip them, or they were using the tight ends to chip. Right? So when you look at the way the Rams attack, right, from the inside with Aaron Donald and Donovan Sue, it's a completely different thing. You're not going to be able to chip with those same players.
Right.
Right? How they scheme against that interior rush is gonna be the key to how this game goes. So the problem is you're not gonna be able to scheme against those guys, but you're gonna allow them to kind of over pursue and get to the outside. And both of the running backs in New England catch the ball very well out of the
So,
backfield.
I was just gonna say that.
The
It's
swing
almost like a
passes are gonna be
segue.
there all day.
It's almost like a segue. But to me, because of the interior rush from LA and what it means to how McDaniels is going to have to approach his football game, I just decided while you're talking that the prop bet that I like the most is Dion Lewis. James White. I always get those two
James
guys
White.
Is the James White catch over under? Catch
Receptions?
total? I think James White reception total.
I think
I'm
it's
all.
I think it's at 3.5.
I don't know. I think it was like 5.5.
You
and went
gotta
up to
take that.
6.5.
You gotta take that over.
Gotta take the over.
Easy money.
We'll
Gotta take the
we'll
over.
check
They're
on
gonna be
that
double
for sure.
teaming
It's gonna be
Donald,
easy
and then what
money.
is Sue gonna do? And Brady. That's the release valve that I was talking
Before,
about because Gronkowski's not.
Before we hit on the
himself
props,
anymore.
though, let me
Yeah,
ask
that-
you two one question.
That James White over.
So,
We like that. We
are you
like
familiar with the term the middle eight?
that. No.
I heard this on Peter King. I'd never heard of it before, but it makes perfect sense. I don't know if you're familiar with Peter King. He is Monday Morning Quarterback for Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
Great listen and great read in the magazine as well. Basically, the middle eight, and from what he was saying is that there's only one coach really that focuses on the middle eight in a game of football, and that's Bill Belichick. We'll see this Sunday if Sean McVay focuses on the middle eight. It's the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. And you'll notice that when you watch the Patriots play,
Well, that's where
their
they
goal
put
is
you
to
away.
always, yeah,
That's where they put you
they
away.
put you away at the last 4 minutes of the first quarter because if
First
they,
half.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
first half, because they will try to score on you, and if they get the ball back second half to start, they will specifically try to score on you, and then get the ball back and score on you again.
Yeah, and then
It's-
and then the goal is to have the ball last, right?
Yep.
That's no.
Which is
that's,
why they always defer. Have they never?
So-
we should look that up. We should research
They
that.
always do defer, except
Have they
for
ever not deferred?
2 weeks ago. What was that first game in the playoffs? They had the first round bye, and then they played the Colts, right? Did they play the Colts, or
I feel like they played somebody in
Yeah.
New England.
Indy? Because it should have been Houston if we beat the Colts. We
No, San Diego.
San
San
Diego.
Diego.
Okay, there we go. You're
Yeah.
right. So there's Chargers.
So go on.
Okay. If you watch that game, go back and watch it. They win the toss and they accept. Okay.
really.
So
It's
why?
Oh.
Look at what they did. They hit them early and often. They were winning that first quarter by 21, and they didn't let off the gas at halftime.
So they just put them down quick.
They put them down quick. Exactly.
So they.
He knew what he wanted
So
to
they
set
put
the
the- they
tone
put the
that
pressure
game.
on Phil
Exactly.
And in theory, to extrapolate on your theory and Peter King's theory that you're talking about, you could still focus on the middle eight even if you're not getting the ball
You
in
can.
the second half. Because a very big part of your middle eight focus can be on defense
Has to be.
at the beginning of the second
It
half.
has to be.
But it still can be on offense at the end of the first
But
half.
that's
So,
such
yeah.
a Bill Belichick psychological warfare.
Middle
thing
It
to
is, but
do
when you
to-
think
Has
about
any,
it,
do you think
Bill
Bill
Belichick-
Belichick?
he
Think Bill
played-
Belichick is aware of that phrase, the
He
middle
plays-
eight?
I bet you it's
plays
his
on-
phrase, and he told Peter King, while they were having, coffee or something before they went
played
fishing on his
Phil
yacht.
Rivers'
I don't know if
fear
he knows
of
that phrase.
Oh yeah, the middle eight. That's
crumbling.
his,
Holy shit.
that's his baby, man.
He's
Or
too
Peter
good.
I'm
King
gonna be
just,
tweeting
uh,
at the Browns front
He's too
office
good.
for the
During the
next
game?
7 months.
Yeah, the middle
I'm
eight.
gonna be tweeting at Freddie Kitchens, who doesn't even have a Twitter, and Baker
Right.
Mayfield and everybody else.
Please just
Middle
like
eight,
the middle eight.
Hashtag middle eight
You win,
every day.
you win the game.
Good morning, God bless, middle eight
In
at
the
Baker
middle eight.
Mayfield.
The middle
every
eight
day.
is
I can
literally
see
like
Middle eight.
you win the game in the middle eight. That's how it works. It's pretty incredible. But yeah,
So
Prop bets, betting.
yeah, let's do
Wagering.
some prop bets.
I
I
like
want to say
it.
something real quick. I don't want to. I want to start a trend where we're no longer saying there's 3 phases to the game. Defense and special teams is the same fucking thing.
touche.
And they are
You.
1/3 of what it takes to win. Offense, if you don't score points, you don't win.
So we're gonna go through a
In
few
the
of these. We got
NFL
about 10
2019
minutes.
offense is
That's right.
probably
We got about
2/3.
10 minutes
That's
left
right.
before we
That's
wrap
by
it
design
up.
of the rules.
Let's do it.
So we'll use this
How much
last
time did you say?
about 10 minutes left before we
Okay, we're
wrap
gonna
it.
talk about
So we're gonna go through some
illicit
props.
gambling and drugs.
Legal
Minus the drugs.
I
Sports.
get so giddy.
betting. Legal sports betting. So let's go over a few
But
of the
wait a minute, Drew. We don't live in a state where you can legally sports bet. Sorry.
Federally.
I
So
What we
Mike.
do.
Sorry for bumping mics.
we'll see here. The Patriots are currently sitting at -2.5. -2.5. I think when we left here last show, they were sitting at -2.
Yeah, I'm still betting Rams, even though I believe the Patriots
I'm
are
still-
going
And
to
many
I'm
Rams as
still-
well. So
Rams
Rams
plus
plus 2.5. The money lines kind of stayed. Actually, they moved a little bit. You get value on Rams plus 120 if you think they win the game.
I'd like to try to find a way to tease the Patriots. I'd like to find a way to tease the Patriots to +5 and then bet the Rams at +2.5. And I think I hit in that window if I can find that teaser. But I hate over/unders totals.
Yeah. So
As
if you
as
find a basketball game
educated
or
people
something-
call them point totals.
If you find a basketball game or something, you can
I
tease it with a basketball.
always do, and I always lose.
Smart trend recently
That's
is
right, get out
to
my
bet
comfort
against Cleveland. So you can look
Cool.
at
This was fun.
Bet against Cleveland.
I'm gonna have that shoe removed, and I'll have it cleaned up and sent back to you.
Look,
Well, let's talk about-
a couple years ago. That was easy money. This year was about a sucker's bet.
So
Oh, you guys are both crook.
90. I actually sent this out to the group chat with everyone.
We're in a group text, by the way. I don't know if you've ever been with 10 guys at one time,
in a chat.
but the three of us have in a text.
The coin toss. This is a very popular one right here. The coin toss. You might be like, well, what the fuck?
It's
Why
the best.
why would I bet on a coin toss? It's 50-50 odds, people. You're looking at 50-50. Black or white on roulette.
So stupid.
50-50.
It's 50-50.
It's a
It's
50-50.
50-50 as long as you bear in mind
Which is
tails
dumb.
never fails.
So
Why don't we just
there's pretty high juice on
draw a
it.
high card?
15 cents. It's
Say-
minus
say your-
115.
I got 5.
Why don't we just draw a high card? We can do
Well,
high
so
cards.
that's the intro, right? That's
any
the
cards?
intro
Do
is
it.
the coin flip. Once you hit that one, who wins the coin flips, right?
Oh, so it's who's winning the coin.
No,
Can you parlay?
these are
Calling
two.
heads or
Can you
tails?
parlay
You
I-
can't parlay. You can't parlay.
But it's
the coin flip? Who
It's
wins
heads
it
or
and
tails.
what they choose? A triple parlay?
So yeah,
I'm gonna take your action if you guys want to parlay that.
so the coin
I'll
toss
take your best. I'm
is
taking
one.
all action.
The coin toss is its own
Got
wager.
it. Go on. Move
The
forward.
next wager, an independent wager,
so wait, the
Is
coin toss
who
is
wins.
it heads or tails?
right? Heads or tails is its own
Who
wager.
wins it, and then do they defer? Does
Who
the
wins
winning
it? Right.
team defer? Would be the next bet.
Uh,
I'm more interested in the bets like minus 600, that wait plus 600 that either announcer mentions the point spread. Did you know that was a bet? You
will
can-
there be an
No,
overtime?
I believe they're not allowed to or not supposed to, but it's like
No.
So not all books offer all the props. You have to shop around, see.
Wait a
I
second.
heard about that prop.
That
today.
is a real prop.
But it's heavily weighted to believing that they're not going to mention the point spread.
It's against CBS's policy as a network to talk about gambling.
Okay.
So to bet, you want to
they
bet
are-
that they're not going to mention the point spread. It's minus 600. That's
Could
right.
could it be an indirect mention like what's his name? Used to
That's a
always
gray
do?
area where the casino's probably going to
Yeah, so they leave
Swipe
that up
all
to
the-
the book.
pay
The
that
book,
man his money.
you know.
Yeah.
So if there's all these,
Because you know that one basketball guy that
They
the
can't-
one
it's- they can't be an
basketball guy
innuendo
in
in the
every
situation.
single.
They have to mention the number.
Right.
I'm thinking if they say 2.5 or whatever, but they're not going to do that. I heard of some other crazy. I know you're going to get into some
I
more
don't
serious
want. I
ones.
don't want any action on that bet. By the
There's
way.
crazy.
There's some
prop
good
bets.
ones like that though. You got to shop around for that, right? There was one
You gotta
that's
shop
already.
around.
There's
If
one
you're a
that's
real
already-
degenerate,
Yeah, there's one.
you
that's
gotta go
already-
to degenerate
there's one that's
shops for your
off the-
wagers.
There's one that's off the board already, and it was it was a lock. Okay.
Ooh, I like a lot.
It's already off the
What
board.
was it? What was it?
Will Chick-fil-A be open inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome?
The answer is
during
no.
Super-
Yeah,
the answer is no.
put all
The
your
answer is no.
money
You
on.
literally take out a
The answer is
loan.
no.
Yeah, it's off the board already. No was like minus 1,500.
I would have bet. I would have
Everything.
mortgaged my house.
Everything on it.
All right, so check. Here's one that I
So
heard.
what that means is you have to bet $1,500 to win $100.
Easy money. Easy money.
Easy
baby.
money. It's Chick-fil-A policy. They don't open on Sunday for
They
anyone.
one time. It's my. I
I've
have
never
awareness.
heard of it.
They opened one time on a Sunday. It was to prepare food for the victims and the emergency crews, and this was a sick PR move. After that nightclub shooting, the gay
In Orlando?
club shooting
Smart.
in Orlando, the adamantly
Christian.
Christian,
organization.
homophobic,
Yeah.
never open on Sundays organization. The only time they ever opened on a Sunday was to serve food to the people dealing with the aftermath of the gay nightclub
That's
shooting
strong.
in Orlando.
That's a strong.
That's a strong
move.
PR move. Like,
Minus 1,500, son.
that's a strong
All right,
move.
so
you know,
I
The
heard-
Super Bowl.
I heard a crazy prop bet, and I heard it both ways. Will Jared Goff have more passing yards in the single digits than Bryce Harper will get paid in the millions on whatever contract he's about to sign? And I might have it screwed up.
Ooh.
They lined up. I believe they lined up a quarterback with a free agent. One quarterback was with Manny Machado, and the other one was lined up with Bryce
I
Harper.
saw one. It was
That's
what?
crazy, weird. Why? You got to be a real fucking.
So
What's
wait,
lower? No, what's lower?
I
gotta be a
think
fucking
The number
Jared.
of touchdowns scored, or the winning horse in the Kentucky Derby.
So you either gotta be a degenerate or like a serious fucking nerd that's like running spreadsheets
Yeah, exactly.
and analytics.
Or both. You know, I mean, so
Probably both.
Lower is
That's
going to
true.
be the horse.
That's
the
true.
horse is going to be
The
lower.
horse is going to be
The
lower.
horse's number? What do horse
Yeah.
numbers normally go up to?
Well, 1 through 10 or 12 or
Okay,
however
no, I
many-
thought they also wore numbers that could be
Oh, maybe a
like
0
a football
one.
player's number, right? Could
No.
a horse be like number 76? I don't know.
Perhaps, yeah,
Don't
maybe.
quote me on this.
Maybe I'm thinking of the lane, right? Like which lane they put him in. Versus
And you're
That
saying
is-
the
that
total
is what
score
number.
versus.
That is their
it's
number.
some, it's either
Based
total
on their lane.
score or touchdown scored. Because touchdowns.
I think horses are numbered in a variety of ways, like up
you
to
know.
100. But let me check this
No,
one.
Yeah,
the
so
number
that's-
4 horse is in the 4th lane.
Yeah, exactly. No,
It's your starting gate.
I'm less of a
but they
degenerate than
wear
that, so-
a
An apron
an
that-
apron that has the number. So is the number the lane number? Or
Yeah,
is
it's
that,
or
their
is it
gate.
just some
Okay.
other
It's their
number?
gate.
then it only goes up to 12 or 13. Then there is no number
No, I think the
17.
Kentucky Derby, I think it was like 15, 25 horses. That's great.
Hold on.
Big ass fucking. Pardon my.
I think horse number 85 has something to say about this. I just made that up.
Horse 69.
Did y'all hear about Gronkowski?
Oh yeah, man!
Ah, we got
Order.
We got-
First of all, that dude is a fucking epic
His favorite
legend
number?
dude, bro.
No, but how he brought him to a press conference
Yeah.
for not the first time.
I bet she knows. Ask her.
Hey Rob, so for anybody that missed this, Rob Gronkowski was asked at the press conference after Tom Brady was asked what the likelihood is percentage-wise whether that he'll retire after this game. Brady said 0, and then Gronkowski was asked, "What is the percentage chance that you'll retire after this season?" And what did he say?
So why don't you? Or no,
He isolated the most attractive
He looked to
reporter.
find the hottest reporter in the
Thank
room.
you.
And says, "Why don't you ask her? She knows.
She
She knows
knows.
what number I'm thinking
And he
of."
basically's like, "Come on, just say
You know
it.
the
You know
number.
what it is.
You know what it
There's a
is.
6 in it.
His
It's got a
laugh.
9.
Yeah.
You know.
His
So there are
laugh
people
was-
He,
signing-
he went on. He went longer. He said,
There's a petition.
"If you multiply 6 by 9 and then add 6 plus 9."
No, 6 plus 3 or whatever it was. I'm surprised. His IQ's about 70, so I'm surprised that he could come up with a complex equation.
I think that he
I
got
bet
it.
it was
I think
super simple. Like
6 times 9 is 54. Yeah.
if you
6 plus 9 is 15. 54 plus 15 is.
God, somebody must have helped him with
69.
that because he's an idiot.
Yeah, I'm sure
I mean, he's
If
a
you
real-
multiply
that must
6
not have been
times
the first
9.
time
He's a
used
total.
that.
Yeah,
No,
no,
dude, that's like
someone wrote that. Someone wrote that. I wouldn't be
Yeah, his
surprised.
brother.
I didn't see the press conference. I bet he was like,
They-
"Hey, it's a math. If you do 6 times 9, then you do." Because he's an
Yeah,
idiot.
Eli was
But-
next to him. Coach,
But there's a petition
what's
that's going
6
around.
times 9,
They
coach?
learned it on the party cruise.
There's a petition that's going around trying to get them to not
Oh,
allow
to
him to
suspend
play
him for the game.
in the Super Bowl because
There's a
of that.
hashtag Me Too.
And now
movement
here's something
going
else.
around.
Here's something else that keeps coming up on the radio station I listen to. I listen to 92.3 and the Fan in Cleveland. If for some reason a radio station is looking to sponsor a mediocre and below podcast,
Well, there would be a
What are your
mediocre
guys?
radio station out of Cleveland for sure.
It would have to be.
you're not doing us any favors right now. But in his defense, he's a total piece of shit. So listen,
Garbage.
one of the
Hashtag
things,
that's fair.
one of the things that gets
Garbage.
they do these drops on CBS Sports Radio, which are Boomer Esiason coming in and giving
Oh,
his
yeah,
minute,
sports takes, yeah.
and
CBS
Jim
Sports
Rome,
Day.
who I think is just awful. But his sports take, they play
So
the same.
so does Chris Everett.
They
I bet you want
call
to say
me
that
Chris one more time.
again. I bet you want to say it again.
Listen, that's so awful. So,
That was great.
but normally every day Jim
And
Rome's
he can tell you
take.
about horses.
Every day, all these guys record a different sports minute, and Rome's, which you can tell if you listen closely, was recorded on Radio Row at the Super Bowl. They played the identical one 2 days in a row, and I think it's fascinating. And this maybe we can wrap it up on this. This is not about prop bets or anything. Rob Gronkowski is now increasingly likely to retire after this Super Bowl, and do you know why that is? Does anybody out there know why that is? Tweet at us if you do. Rob Gronkowski is now running with Mark Wahlberg and his inner circle, and Mark Wahlberg believes that Rob Gronkowski doesn't just possess the potential to be, but is going to be the next big mega action star in Hollywood filmmaking.
The next, The Rock.
And he went on to say, Mark Wahlberg was very specific about this. He went on to say that, it used to be Schwarzenegger and Stallone, and they passed the torch to The Rock and John Cena, and now those
Harvey
guys.
Weinstein, he's gonna pass his cock over to fucking Rob Gronkowski, and they're just gonna fucking circle jerk each other.
Probably has already happened, but Mark Wahlberg firmly believes that Rob Gronkowski is going to be your next Ronda Rousey. Wait,
Book
sorry.
it. You heard it here
Take,
first.
take two. He's going to be your next
Ronda Rousey.
mega action star. Man, her film career really took
Look,
not off.
if you put him in semi-pro 2, I'd go see it.
Okay. I'd have to see the trailer
Dude, he's
first.
a
but-
total look. Rob Gronkowski is the same low IQ knucklehead. Come and find me, Rob. I'll be here.
He'll be right
He's
here.
the same
at
low
Turkleton.
IQ knucklehead that John Cena is, except he's not endearing, and John Cena is very endearing. Have y'all seen that movie Blockers?
One of my favorites.
John Cena is so like innocent
You
and
haven't
like,
seen that one? Oh,
dude,
man.
how good is
But
John
he's-
Cena
oh,
at
he
playing like
kills
an
it.
innocent,
Chucks
like
the beer out his
caring.
ass.
He's great in Daddy's Home too.
Dude, in Blockers, he's so sensitive and like believably like you rooting for
Was
this
that-
guy
that
as
was
a
great.
big
Wasn't it
softie.
great?
He's awesome, dude. Rob Gronkowski's not gonna be that. He's gonna be a giant
Yeah.
meathead. Like, have you heard his Slim Jim commercial? When the little voice of my stomach gets hungry, I'm
Did you
Rob
see the whole
Gronkowski.
family on
Step into a
Family
Slim Jim.
Feud?
He's so
Did you see
dumb,
all the
dude.
brothers?
No, but he's
Oh
so
my
like.
God.
I'm sure that would
Speaking
be
of
great,
a
though.
circle jerk,
Yeah.
God.
Hey,
damn,
let
these
me
guys-
just say this to try to save myself. Rob Gronkowski may not be totally dumb, but he is not smart. All right,
But
like
what if it's
there's
just an
no.
elaborate show and like he's got you right where you want you?
Yeah,
He's
no
a-
way, I
no,
love
he's a
you.
total.
Look,
He's a total meathead. Knucklehead.
Totally.
he probably is. I think he's an.
He's
epic
funny,
dude,
but it's
bro.
annoying. It's not
He is.
endearing.
He's an epic dude, bro.
So
He is
He's
an epic
cool.
dude, bro. What
Yeah.
they were saying
Yeah,
though
bombs.
from that news conference, the 69 news conference,
I think
okay?
I drink beer. Bro.
Is that,
I'm sorry, dude? That
like,
would be
his-
so much fucking fun.
His act that he puts on,
I would want to get away from him.
his act is
that would be
is
so much fun.
has run its course, and it's not an act anymore. You know, like it's run its course. They're
So-
tired of it.
So, will
I can see that.
It's like
yeah,
a
I can see that.
I'm not trying to take over control here,
no.
but maybe will Rob
Wrap her up.
Gronkowski be the next mega action
What
star
are
in
the odds
Hollywood?
here? Put the odds on it. Yes is.
I gotta tell you something right now. Remove Rob Gronkowski's ability to be that. I mean, Mark Wahlberg is both incredibly successful and fucking powerful as
He's
shit,
very
dude.
powerful.
So his backing
And look-
and Gronkowski's tapped into like Wahlberg's
He-
love for Boston and
he's
just
put-
all of that.
He's
If
put
you
Gronk
think it's
tap-
not gonna happen, it's definitely gonna happen.
Wahlberg's put Gronk
I think it's
on
gonna happen.
Entourage,
totally.
and he's put him on Ballers.
In my rational, intellectual mind, not a fucking chance in hell that Rob Gronkowski is the next big action star, and I'm pushing my stack that he's going to be. At the same time, does that make
I
sense?
don't know, man.
It's
Chris-
gonna happen, dude.
Chris Pratt.
You don't
is
want it
on,
to? We don't want it
Chris
to.
Pratt's not.
It's gonna happen.
Chris Pratt's not. He's
not,
endearing.
He's not a Rob Gronkowski.
He's not
No,
Rob
he's way
Gronkowski.
too.
dumb.
What is that? He's
So, but I think he's probably one of the bigger action stars.
Oh,
right
totally.
now.
No. I mean,
But
he's
he's
a
never been.
star.
And before he was a big action star, he wasn't a Jaeger bomb dude, bro.
No,
he was
no.
that endearing,
Catching
lovable
touchdowns from Tom
idiot.
Brady.
He was that lovable idiot on Parks and Recreation. That's where he
Andy Dwyer.
originated.
He's great.
Oh, how do you not love? Who doesn't love that guy?
Well, who doesn't,
Who
love
doesn't
that
root
show?
for that guy and love that
Bullshit.
guy? People have not rooted for Rob Gronkowski and his meathead antics. So it's crazy,
That's
but Mark Wahlberg is
I would-
probably gonna make that shit
If
happen.
they
dude.
invited
It's
me on the
crazy.
cruise, I would have went.
Yeah, you could
Rob,
enjoy it.
If
You
you
can
want
have
to
my
drink
ticket.
beers,
Enjoy it.
if
can
you
have
want
my
to drink
ticket.
beers, I'll drink beers with you. Saying.
I don't dig it, but I get it.
Entertainment value. Are
you not entertained? Come on.
All right. So I'm sorry to
So let us
introduce Aaron
end on
Hernandez.
that. Let us end on
We
that.
were
Are you
having a
not?
good
Are you
time.
not entertained by our podcast? I mean, who the fuck would not be entertained by this shit? I have no.
Look, y'all, we were
Is this
all,
not
what you came here to see?
we were
That's
all
the worst,
off
man.
base,
Yeah.
man. Look,
Is that not why you're here?
Sound more like Joaquin Phoenix. Than
next week,
Interesting.
next week we have the
Okay.
results of the Super Bowl.
Results are in.
We
Next
have
week.
we have the NBA, man. We have the
Full swing.
the All-Star game.
Coming up.
We have the trade deadline, and
Seventh.
we have the playoff stretch run, right? And
And-
so
And we tease, not tweeze. We teased.
the oligarchy.
We teased some real evil shit that I
Some
think is
real
eating the
evil
NBA from inside out that we're going to talk about next week. For sure.
And honestly,
Tune back in for that.
it has legs, man. It has legs.
And
Yeah,
it's growing.
absolutely.
It has legs
So,
and it's growing. So be
One
aware.
has legs and is growing, and yet is not alive.
This story.
Good story. All right, so once again, y'all. So this is this week's edition of the weekly game,
That was good.
where we don't really know what we're talking about, but we'll talk about it.
The unwise guys.
The unwise guys.
Just
all
think,
right?
let that one marinate.